The legal tampering period is just days away now, so let's celebrate with a pre-free agency 7-round Jets mock draft. Let's go ahead and let's get after it. Before we get into the video, if I could get you to please jet up the like button, and if you're new here and you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I want to let you know we'll be live this upcoming Wednesday night. We'll be live streaming and discussing all things Jets offseason. The link for that stream will be in the description. One last thing before we get started with this video, I am going to let you know that I made a free agency predictions video this past weekend, and in that video, I had the Jets signing 5 different players. And so this mock draft is actually going to be a reflection of those moves. So if you want to further understand why I drafted the players that I did, the link for that video will be in the description. Round 1, pick 4, I have the New York Jets selecting Kayvon Thibodeau, edge rusher from Oregon. Had an outstanding combine last weekend, ran a 4.58 40-yard dash, and his 10-yard split was even more impressive, ran a 1.59 in those first 10 yards of that 40-yard dash. So what does that prove? It's just a bunch of numbers. But what it does is it shows his first step explosion is no mistake and no joke. This guy has an elite burst and an elite first step that he can use to his advantage in those speed rushes on the edge. And that's really what this defense is all about. Getting upfield, attacking the quarterback as quickly and as fast as you can. And he is not a one-trick pony. He is not just an edge rusher. He uses excellent hand counters to be able to transfer from speed to power rushes and combats the offensive lineman very nicely with his hands. I think bend is there. Again, the burst is excellent. And I don't believe any of this stuff that I'm reading about his motor not being great. I think he has an outstanding motor. Again, watching him on the field, I don't see a lack of effort from him by any means. And so I feel really good about this pick, and I think there's a good shot that he's available. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take an all gas, no brakes edge rusher. Let's go. Round 1, pick 10, I have the New York Jets selecting cornerback Ahmad Gardner, a.k.a. Sauce Gardner, out of Cincinnati. He has all of the size, all of the length, all of the speed that you could hope for in a cornerback. He ran a 4.4, 40-yard dash at the combine. He's 6'3". He's got a wingspan of almost 80 inches, which is absolutely absurd. And he is strong in man coverage and even stronger in zone coverage. I think he can do both. So he's going to fit the scheme nicely. He's going to be able to do a lot of different things on the outside. And you think about pairing him up with Bryce Hall. We've got 2 tall, long-armed DBs in the back end. I think that's going to be great. And then you think about the additions that we've made and the player that we're going to get back in Carl Lawson. We're going to have Kayvon Thibodeau, Quinnen Williams, Jonathan Franklin Myers. That's a hell of a pass rush. And so we're going to be able to get after the quarterback. We're going to be able to create some of these turnovers that are so important for a young quarterback to be able to have a short field. I do understand that we need to address the offense. And again, I do recommend you check out my free agency predictions video. I think the Jets have a chance to address the offensive needs prior to the NFL draft. So going double defense in round 1, it's not as crazy as you think. And in these next couple of picks, you're going to feel even better. Round 2, pick 35, I have the New York Jets selecting wide receiver Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. He's 5'11", 183 pounds. And he is a dream fit for this offense. He's going to be able to play on the outside, in the slot, just like Mike LaFleur really wants out of his wide receivers. And he is a route running, separating type of wide receiver. So he's going to pair excellently with Elijah Moore and Corey Davis. Going to be able to move them all over the formation. Going to give Zach Wilson easy windows to throw into. I think that we all need to get used to the idea of, Joe Douglas trying to repeat what he did when he landed Elijah Moore in the previous draft. Getting a wide receiver at the top of that second round, it looks very, very promising in this draft class. So Jahan Dotson at the beginning of round 2, home run draft pick. Round 2, pick 38, I have the New York Jets selecting tight end Trey McBride out of Colorado State. 6'4", about 250 pounds. He did not run his 40-yard dash at the combine, but I have to imagine he will at his pro day. He's a physical, willing, aggressive blocker. He's going to do his part to get our running game going. And what you have to love is the fit here for the scheme. I think that he is a great run after the catch tight end. He's going to be able to use his physicality to break tackles and also be able to make those linebackers miss in open space. Great fit, great pick. Going to help Zach Wilson. Gotta love it. Round 3, pick 69, I have the New York Jets selecting linebacker Chad Muma out of Wyoming. He's 6'3", 240 pounds, and he ran a 4.6 40-yard dash. Plenty of size, plenty of speed, and he uses his mind to attack the offense in a lot of different ways. And one of the best ways is stopping the run. This is a great, read and react type of linebacker. One of the issues on defense for the Jets in 2021 was not being able to attack downhill when the running plays were called. He is going to help immediately, right away. He's going to be the Mike linebacker in this defense. He's going to play alongside CJ Mosley, Quincy Williams, and any other linebackers that we sign in free agency. So we're going to have some depth. We're going to have some veterans and some youth. Love it. Round 4, pick 108, I have the New York Jets selecting running back Rachaad White out of Arizona State University. He's about 6 foot, 214 pounds, ran a 4.48 40-yard dash, and I thought he looked outstanding at the Senior Bowl, ran very, very hard. He was on the Jets' side in that game, and they ran the hell out of him in that game. They gave him a lot of touches. They were trying to obviously assess him in that game. So I think there's some real interest from the Jets in Rachaad White. And he is a very well-rounded back. He uses his vision very well, very patient runner. I think that's going to do very well in this offense. And the thing that you have to love about him is he does not have a ton of work in college, does not have a million touches in his college career, and he can catch the football out of the backfield. So he's not one-dimensional, brings a little bit more size and physicality at that running back position. So he's going to complement Michael Carter absolutely perfect. Round 4, pick 114, I have the New York Jets selecting safety Kirby Joseph out of Illinois, 6'1", 200 pounds, ran a 4.5 40-yard dash, has the size, has the speed. He's pretty rangy in the back end, and he's going to be able to use his excellent ball skills to create turnovers in the back end of the defense. I think that this draft pick does a couple of things. Number one, it helps to provide some competition for Ashton Davis. No longer is he going to have a spot by default, in the starting lineup. He's going to now have to compete for that spot. And with, waiting to draft a safety in the mid rounds, you have to assume that the Jets are going to address the other safety position or other safety, starting spot in free agency. So I like the idea of having a 3-man rotation and some competition. And I think Kirby Joseph is just that. The one thing I will say is he only has 1 year of production, so there is some risk with this move, but certainly it could end up being a home run draft pick. Round 5, pick 144, I have the New York Jets selecting guard Ed Ingram out of LSU, 6'4", 320 pounds, ran a 5-second flat 40-yard dash, so the size and athleticism is certainly there. He has great lateral mobility, will fit the scheme perfectly, has a lot of ability, being able to run that wide zone running scheme. And his anchor is also very, very strong. And when they say anchor, they mean that base of that offensive lineman being able to stand his ground and hold his blocks firmly. So Ed Ingram has a lot of upside in the mid to late rounds. And, in this scenario, again, similar to the safety position, obviously the Jets would have had to have made a move in free agency. I still believe they're going to do that. They're going to address the starting spot on the offensive line. So Ed Ingram is doing 2 things. Number one, he's providing depth and he's providing future potential as a starter on the offensive line. I think that's the best way to build your offensive line and to have long-term success, drafting these guys in the mid to late rounds so that you can keep your veterans in there and let your younger guys develop on the bench. Round 5, pick 148, I have the New York Jets selecting defensive lineman Matthew Butler out of Tennessee. He's 6'4", just a shade under 300 pounds, ran a 5-second flat 40-yard dash. So he's got that size and he's got that athleticism, and he has some versatility to his game. He can play the 3 or the 5 technique and gets after the quarterback. Had 8.5, tackles for a loss, 5 sacks in his last year of college football. So decent production. And you have to think that this is going to be a depth piece on the defensive line for the New York Jets. There is a decent chance that they move on from Sheldon Rankins and or Foley Fatukasi. So getting another young piece in here to develop and to rotate with that defensive line, I think is very important. And you can never have enough big boys up front. That's going to do it for this mock draft. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the mock draft. Let me know your thoughts as we're just hours away now from free agency kicking off. Look forward to reading and responding to all of your comments. Hope you all have an awesome day. Go Jets, and I'll see you guys next time.